When it comes to discussions about who is the greatest player of the PBA, one man would always stand out. 4 league MVPs, a PBA Hall of Fame award, member of the league's 25 greatest of all time, number one overall in scoring, rebounding, and shot blocks, player with the most number of championships won, and the only big man to wind up second overall in assists and steals. Is there any doubt that Ramon Fernandez is the PBA's greatest player of all time? Tonight, the man called by many names, El Presidente, the franchise, and the money man, will join us on episode 7 of season 2 of the List podcast. Good evening, Papa Mon. Hi, how are you? Kumusta ka dyan?
Hi, Ray. Good evening. At sa lahat ng nakikinig sa iyo, kumusta kayo dyan?
All right, we're doing good. So, how is the quarantine period so far for you, Papa Mon?
Well, trying to move around as much as possible. It's a good thing we're here naka-lockdown kami, naka-quarantine kami sa Ultra. We have the whole place to a few of us here who are here. So nakakaikot, mabuti naman nakaka-practice, nakakalakad-lakad madalas, no?
That's a good thing, no? And Papa Mon, by the way, on standby yung mga Toyota fans, your old fans from San Miguel, they're also here from Tanduay, they're watching. Would you like to greet them?
Yes, to all basketball aficionados, for that matter, lalo na yung, of course, yung talagang sumuporta, nag-inspire sa akin nung naglalaro ako. If not for you guys pushing me to do the best I can, sana hindi ko inabot yung inabot ko rin, no? So maraming salamat. I hope you continue to pray for me and for all of us, of course.
Okay. Alam mo, marami nakaantabay sa atin ngayon, and because of this very special night, isa na dito yung uncle ko from Tanawan, Mr. Ruben Chavez, who patterned his game after Ramon Fernandez. Hello sa iyo dyan, sa Tanawan, Batangas, no? And also to all Toyota fans. To all Toyota fans like Ma'am Kaiki Kalikdan and Mas Abrosaldo, my co-faculty members at STI Las Piñas, as well as Mr. Jeff Remulla, ganun din sa mag-asawang sina Mylene Abbas and her husband Dindo, my dependable Vice President sa JJ Alexias Alumni Association. No, kumusta kayo dyan? No, and Tito Talaw, I'm sure you know Tito Talaw, Papa Mon, no? He's now the sports editor of Manila Bulletin, no? Meron lang din siya gustong i-share na experience dito sa iyo, no? Dati,
of course. Si Tokayo ko, pero mas matanda sa akin yan.
Okay, sabi niya, no? From the press box, I shouted maybe 2-3 times at Mon. Sabi, elegant shot. I was a fan and didn't know back then that there shouldn't be cheering in the press box. Anyway, Mon didn't glance at me or show signs that he heard me. Then all of a sudden, he took a couple of sideways steps and delivered that patterned one-handed running shot, the elegant shot, and he made the shot. I thought I had jumped from seat in sheer joy, beaming in front of my colleagues that the great Mon Fernandez had did what I had been imploring him to do all evening long. Then as Mon backpedaled, and it was won't do maybe as a counter momentum of sorts or for show, I didn't know, never got to ask him. He looked over to the press box directly at me and hollered deadpan, "Oh, wag ka nang maingay dyan, ha?" It was the thrill of my life. That's Tito Talaw of the Manila Bulletin, no? And natatandaan niya pa yon na Papa Mon.
Yeah, no? Definitely.
Okay. Let's talk about your.
Yes, Papa we did go back a long way.
Yeah. And Tito now is holding the top spot for the sports section of Manila Bulletin.
Oh, I didn't know that. Congratulations, Tokayo.
Okay. Let's talk about some of your achievements, Papa Mon. 18,996 points. That's the most scored by any player in the PBA. And of course, it's not just a reflection that you have that scorer's mentality, because there are different things you do inside the court, like playing defense. But how do you strike a balance playing all around game? And you have to do it every game.
Well, that was the formula that I used, Ray,
Mm-hmm.
to gather as much statistical points for the MVP race, because assists, rebounds, block shots, 2 points din yun sa statistical data, points, So I was always meron akong ano bang tawag doon? Meron akong gauge, barometer na at least if I can score between 15 to 20 points a night and dish off 10 assists, 10 rebounds, and maybe 3 or 4 blocks and a couple of steals. So that would put you high in points as far as the statistical points. And so if my team would reach all semifinals of the 3 conferences, that would put you in the top, at least in the top 3 or top 5 of the MVP race. So, and aside from that, matutuwa, masasayahan yung mga teammates mo kung pinapasahan mo, makakashoot din sila.
Right.
Hindi lang puro ikaw lang ang mag-score, you score 30, 40 nights a game, pero hindi naman ganong kasaya din yung mga kasamahan mo, siyempre, So iba naman yung makakahawak man lang sila ng bola at makakascore din, So everybody happy.
Okay. You're number 1 in rebounding and shot blocks. Kayod na sa opensa and kayod ka pa rin sa depensa. And for you to play that consistent, how do you psych yourself up every game to perform at that level?
Well, it's basically you do it in practice, Ray.
Okay.
Prepare yourself in practice so that it becomes natural. It happens naturally during the game. Ganun lang naman yun eh. If you do not practice 100%, siyempre, limitado din yung performance mo, So basically, yun lang naman ang formula doon. Yun lang naman ang kailangan gawin ng isang atleta. It's in practice where you really, push yourself to the limit, because in practice, yung isang team mag-practice ng 2 hours a day. For the 2 hours, lahat kayo gumagalaw, kumikilos, naglalaro eh, di ba?
Right.
You're doing something. In the game, that's only 40 minutes or 44 minutes pa, 42 ba sa PBA, sa pro? So you only play what? 30 minutes, 40 minutes sometimes. So very short lang ang playing time mo talaga in the real game. So if you're in top shape 100%, napakadali naman nun, Hindi ka mapapagod in a game, Yeah.
Okay. You have a skill set of a guard in a big man's body, That's how people describe you. You're number 2 overall in assists and steals. Back in those times you were playing, players at your height were prototype big men who would play inside, but in your case, you have that mobility and passing skills. How were you able to develop those skills?
Well, doing it in practice and in the game, Ray. Well, also, in my high school years, I was in second year high school in the seminary, and pinaglaro nila ako sa varsity team sa college. So naturally, guard ang laro ko doon. So that's where I developed first my ball handling skills. But I've always believed that one of the fundamentals that a basketball player should really master is his ball handling skills, Maski na gaano kagaling gagaling ang footwork mo, agility mo. Pag wala kang ball handling skills, hindi magtutugma yung kamay mo at yung paa mo no? So, kailangan ma-synchronize mo yon. So, if you can handle very well the ball with your hands, kung anong gawin ng paa mo, susunod na lang yung kamay, no? So, and of course, sa assist naman, it's really a mindset, no? As I said, I had that formula that assisting a player, assisting your teammate to be able to score also, that will help you develop your passing skills. Plus, the very basic fundamental ng basketball ng yung peripheral vision mo, developing your peripheral vision. You know where everybody is located at every time, no, during the game, no, both offense and defense, no. So alam mo, so you would always see there should always be an open man, especially with what happened to me when they try to double team or triple team me. So maraming libre talaga, no. So you just have to develop that assist at try to help make your other teammates score also.
Okay. But your 4-time most valuable player awards, you won it 4 times, no? You felt you could have won more. There was a big question from fans as to why you didn't end up winning the 1979 and 1989 MVP awards. Looking back at those times, how did you feel back then?
Well, of course, initially, right after the event, medyo masama ang loob mo, but you know that what I did was I made it a challenge, no. So I really have to do it convincingly, and there are humans. There's a human side to it also. Hindi naman kasi lahat ng hindi lang naman ang criteria ng MVP is yung statistical points mo, no. May votes din ng press and athletes, no. So there are other factors that gets to play too, no. So wag mo lang masama ng loob, or as I said, make it a challenge to improve some more, no.
Pero tingin mo, hindi lang 4 ang napanalunan mo dapat?
Sabi nila.
Sabi ng mga tao, di ba?
I had several, aside from 1979 and 89, I had several good runs for the MVP race. But in those years, either isa lang ang pinanalo namin ng championship, or baka hindi kami nanalo ng championship for the year. So hindi umabot sa dulo, no. But I'd like to believe that at least in the 20 years that I played, I was really very competitive at the highest level. That's precisely why sometime towards the end, especially 1994, when I hung up my jersey after that season, practice wasn't fun anymore.
Okay.
It's hard if you cannot, as I said, if you cannot practice 100%. Well, your full potential hindi talaga lalabas, no? So that's why I thought really of retiring after that year, because practice wasn't fun anymore, no? And also I had to put into consideration that I had not really very critical injuries, but yes, I did. In 1994, I broke again my nasal bone the second time. And yun, pag na-off ka ng mga 2 weeks, 3 weeks, walang practice, ang hirap ng bumalik eh. Pag ganung age ka na eh, no?
Right.
So you really have to work doubly hard to get back in shape, no? So laging nasa ulo ko rin, ayoko naman yung I could have played maybe until I was 45 or that age, no? But ayoko naman na marinig or maalaala ng mga fans na nanonood sa akin in my last years na nagfa-fumble ka na napapatid ka na sa guhit. Ayaw ng player siyempre marinig yun. Oy, matanda ka na. Oy, laos ka na, mag-retire ka. I did not want to give that chance to my critic to shout at me that way.
Okay, you want to exit na nandun ka pa rin sa at the highest level ng laro mo. Gusto mo ganun. Okay.
That's correct. At the highest possible level. Because in 1994, in the last conference, nanalo pa rin kami ng All-Filipino ng San Miguel. No? So that's precisely why the team represented the national team, the Philippines, in in Japan.
Right.
I can't remember which
Hiroshima.
Asian Games. Hiroshima ba yun? Or somewhere? 1994. No?
Kaya lang nag-giveaway ka na rin talaga sa ibang players, no?
Yes.
Okay. Right.
Hiroshima, that's correct.
19 times you're a PBA champion. Talo mo pa si Bill Russell sa dami ng championships, no? But can you tell us honestly why were you so successful playing for teams like
Nakailan ba siya?
Tanduay. Si Bill Russell ay 13. Toyota, Tanduay, San Miguel Beer. Ito yung mga teams na nanalo ka ng championships, no? But why were you so successful back then?
I guess it's the report that I was able to develop with my teacher. It's a very critical area. No, I tried hard. I tried hard to be a good teammate to everybody. No? And supportive of my teammates. No, in all the teams that I played, maganda naman talaga ang samahan. No, well, basically that's it. The relationship between players and the coach, and of course management. Then.
Okay. You're a member of the PBA's 25 greatest and first batch of Hall of Fame achievers, no? You felt you left the game the way you wanted and walang panghihinayang?
Wala talaga. Otherwise, kung meron man, sayang hindi ko napanalo lahat ng championships. But that's impossible. Kidding aside, wala akong pagsisisi talaga because, well, for me, playing in the PBA for 20 years was just really an icing on the cake already because my childhood ambition was to play for flag and country, which I was able to do when I was 18 years old and 19 years old in my early years. I was able to reach that, what I call the pinnacle of my basketball success, basketball story. Yun naman talaga ang nag-motivate. That's what made me pick up the game to play for the national team. So yung pumasok yung pro, yung PBA, that was icing on the cake na lang talaga. No?
Speaking about the national team, di ba? You entered in 1973 as the youngest, but you were the oldest in 1990, tama ba?
That's correct. Actually, I came in 1972 when I was 18, and then 19 the following year sa ABC, and then 74 Asian Games. I was the youngest in the 1974 Asian Games, and became the oldest in the 1990 Asian, Asian Games. No? Span of what, 16
going
years?
full
No?
circle, huh?
So, exactly. It was a good welcome and send-off to the national team.
Okay. Uh, Papa Mon, when you say Toyota, no, old-time basketball fans would associate it to glamour and greatness. But what makes Toyota unique among the teams you played for?
Oh, I will be biased if I tell you my reasons are, but really, no kidding. I guess it was because it came at the right time, no? And the former stars of Meralco were there, sina Dworsky, sina Big Boy, sina Francis Ernais, and a few other guys, and even sina Orly Bauson, from the other national teams, and several other teammates of mine at the time. They were already established stars when the team was formed, no? So, ang dami pa nilang mga mistiso doon, no? So,
napasama ka pa.
Plus, of course, Dante Silverio played a big part also, the owners of the team, no? Mga sosyal masyado eh. So, napahiran kami mga players din ng konti. No?
Okay. Right. Of course, Toyota, no? Toyota is mentioned in the same breath with Crispa. But why do you think that Toyota-Crispa rivalry was the best ever rivalry in the PBA that you didn't see in any other rivalries in Philippine basketball?
Well, one of the major reason for that, Ray, was really the involvement of the team owners at the time. If you look back the history of the PBA or even in the MICA at the time, most of the team managers or the owners themselves of the corporations were involved in the team. No, there were the officers of the league, of the MICA,
right?
And the PBA. In the PBA, it started with, of course, si Mr. Domingo Ichon was a high-ranking official of Tanduay at the time, aside from siguro sila mga Elizaldes lang were not really at the forefront, but all the other companies, the Concepcions, Floros, Silverios, the Chanovas, Settings, Walter Yuyang of Utex, and who did I forget? As I said, most of the team owners were directly involved in running in the team. They were always in the games. No?
Okay. In your early playing career, no, I've seen photos of you, your nose heavily bandaged, and I'm sure there were a few more that had been part of a scuffle. No? Honestly speaking, can you remember how many times you've got involved in on-court or game-related fighting incidents? Hindi madalas yan, I'm sure.
Well, several, not really that much, no? But several times. No? The first one was an accidental scuffle, really, when I first broke my nose. I think, if I remember correctly, 76 or 77, there was a scuffle in the middle of the game, and I got hit in the nose. That was the first time I broke the nasal bone of my nose, no? And there was one very infamous rumble we had with Crispa after the game, where dinala kami lahat ni General Olivas at the time. Napreso kami sa Bonifacio. And there were skirmishes, little skirmishes, the usual skirmishes in a basketball game before, when it was a bit, well, dirtier than dirty. So So it was all part of the game really at the time. No? It was really only when the PBA was born that, well, everybody, the players, got to realize that we just have to play our hearts out, less those dirty tactics, because it's already a profession. No? We need to, compete at the highest level, no, sans those dirty tactics. No?
Okay. So, inabutan ko kasi yung no harm, no foul, no? Pero may mga nagsabi sa akin, mas matindi pa raw ng 70s, no? Usually, ano ba yung mga dirty tactics na nai-experience nyo? Particularly ikaw, I'm sure yung mga tirador would like to get into your head, ano yung madalas na ginagawa sa'yo?
Well, nandyan yung pag lumusot, dumrive ka or mag-jump shot ka, kunyari, iba-block yung shot mo, pero ang tama, sa mukha mo pala ang tama. No? Hindi naman really to maim you or to give you a cut, para lang asarin ka ba? Pang-asar lang, medyo sampal ng konti dito, sampal ng... Only to get your concentration out of the game, no? But you just have to rise above those tactics, no?
Pero ikaw, bumabawi ka din naman, di ba?
Siyempre. That's why hindi naman kasi usually nangyayari naman yung tinitira ka lagi. Well, for me, tinitira ako during the championship series or the semifinals, in those really important games. And hindi ka naman pwedeng bumawi right there and then. Dahil, especially if critical, crucial yung game, do or die yung game. Palagay mo na, titirahin ka ng titirahin. Kung magwala ka, manuntok ka, or gumanti ka, pareho kayo ma-thrown out of the game. That would definitely jeopardize your chances. So, ang ginagawa ko lagi, doon ako bumabawi the next season sa elimination round.
Okay. Tiyempo na lang, no?
Sa elimination.
Okay.
Tiyempo na lang. At bumawi ka doon nang mas matindi pa kaysa sa ginawa sa'yo. And if your opponents naman will know that, they will stop doing that. Otherwise, kung hindi ka gaganti, titirahin ka talaga ng titirahin. No? Huwag ka lang manguna.
Okay. Of the 9 championships you've won with Toyota, which among those stand out to you?
Oh, I have to dig deep into my memory, really. But for me, well, of course, the first is always the best that you remember also. Basically, pare-pareho lang naman yung mga championships na yan, Ray, no? Because the efforts that you put into those championships, that you won the championship, lahat naman yun pinaghirapan mo talaga from the very beginning. So they're all special actually. For me, walang mas special ganito, ganon. There might be a little bit yung mga umaabot ng Game 7, na naghahabol kayo perhaps sa series, tapos come out winning the championship after Game 7 or best of 5, no? So basically, siguro, yun lang ang diferensya siguro doon. But all championships are sweet talaga.
Okay. Did it take so long for you to erase the pain of that 1980 championship loss to UTEX? Remember that last 16 seconds, you were up by 4, and then you were dragged to overtime and lost the championship, no? Was this, you can consider, the one that got away throughout your playing career?
Yeah, that I can consider the most painful loss, no? Because that 16 seconds, magcha-champion na sana kami noon, hindi ba? Yung may nag-open na yata nung streamer namin,
right?
No? And and we lost that game. So umabot pa ng another game at natalo din kami, no? That's what's stick to my mind really, no? Yung loss. So yeah.
All right. Okay.
Most unforgettable.
Tama. Is Robert Jaworski the best teammate you've ever had, and what makes him so special?
Mahirap naman sabihin the best teammate, even ako, the best teammate, the best player. Mahirap naman sabihin yun. Because, depende sa composition ng, sa Toyota siguro, makasabi ko yes. In every team, there's always somebody who will fill up that description that you are saying, no? So depende sa time. So may kanya-kanyang roles kayong ginagampanan. So depende sa panahon, no? Different teams that you play for. He was definitely at the top of my list.
Okay. But can you also call Jaworski your most bitter rival, no? As your rival, what do you hate the most when competing against him?
I'm sorry, Ray, you came in choppy.
Okay.
I didn't get that.
Can you also consider Jaworski your most bitter rival? And as your rival, what do you hate the most when competing against him?
My most bitter rival probably would be Abet Gidabin. We played for 20 years or more than 20 years even, since in the amateur days because we play and we guard each other since the beginning of our careers. No? So, yeah. I would describe Abit aptly more as my the most bitter rival that I had in the PBA or even the amateur days. Because most of the time, we were teammates din 10 years, almost 10 years teammates kami ni Sunny, and 10 years lang kami magkalaban. So.
Okay, all right. Did you feel bad at how Toyota's dynasty ended? Somehow, the latter stretch of your campaign in the PBA, did we see some sort of a power struggle within the teams of who's going to lead the team, whether it's Jaworski or you? May ganun ba?
I doubt it. Mas mukhang what you called it? What's the term for that? Na-fuel lang yun sa mga, I guess, sa mga write-ups ng mga sports writers, no? That basically caused that, no? Because since 73, teammate na kami ni Sunny, no?
Right.
Maybe it was maybe caused by the press describing me that tumaas na yung performance ko as compared to noong una, and understandable naman na mag-i-improve ka talaga playing all these years. So that was basically the write-ups that I can remember, no, that really caused that seemingly feud in the team, no. But there was really no power struggle. How can you have a power struggle in a basketball team, no? All you go out there and play your best, you play your guts out, and so you assist each other, you help each other. So there's no room for power play in a team.
Or professional jealousy, no? Wala rin ganon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, there's none of that, no? I didn't notice any of that.
Okay, all right. Before the fold-up ng Toyota, no, may nakita ka na bang mga kakaibang nangyayari sa team yung tipong players were feeling uneasy that their future isn't secured anymore?
What do you exactly mean, Ray?
Kasi 'di ba during the 1983 season prior to the disbandment, para bang nafi-feel na ba ng ibang players na parang hindi na sila secure anymore, na where are they going to play next, something like that? Nasi-sense ba yun?
Hindi naman, although the cause really of the downfall of the team was not because of the team, the intramurals in the team. It was because of what happened to the corporation, Delta Motors Corporation. They had a hard time sustaining the company already at the time. I remember vividly that year, Delta Motors was the bank that were financing Delta Motors was Philman Bank and another bank that skipped my mind right now. And if you remember the time when a certain businessman ran away with 800 million and left the country, money from that bank. So doon tumagilid yung Delta Motors, no, walang yung financial arm nila tumagilid, so pati sila naapektuhan talaga, no. That was really the main cause, the cause for that matter of the breakup of the team. That's why the team was the franchise was sold to the Lusutan Group of Companies, Shareholdings Incorporated. It was the financial problem that the Delta Motor Corporation encountered at that time.
Okay. During the disbandment and selling of the franchise, pwede pa kayong magkasama-sama ni Jaworski and Francis Arnaiz, right? But at the back of your mind, were you hoping for that to happen? That somehow you can continue your dominance, the PBA, while playing together?
Things happened so fast, Ray. No? I was not privy, nor I don't think anybody of us was private to that. When our team manager then, Jack Rodriguez, was given the orders by the old man Silverio, Mr. Ricardo Silverio, to find a buyer for the franchise, no. So we were not private to that, no. So my thinking then was, ganyan talaga ang life ng isang professional athlete, professional basketball player, no. The team can transfer you to trade you to other teams, and there's really not much you can do about it, no. Especially in this case na hindi masakit dahil hindi naman kami train-raid, dahil hindi na kami magaling or wala na kaming gamit, no. Nagkaroon lang talaga naman na yung company ang nagka-problema. So and I understood even then that that can really happen anytime to any player, no. In fact, early on, 1978 pa lang, Manny Paner moved to greatest coffee at the time. So player transfers, players trade is really a natural thing that will happen, no? Natural occurrence in a professional league. No? So yeah, wala naman sama ng loob. It just so happened that the well-publicized feud between me and Sunny at the time was probably at the peak at the time, no? And there were some talks, I don't know how true that was, that it was I think it was Tommy Manotoc, who he was a deputy. He was the deputy commissioner at the time, during at the time. And nung nag-fold up ang Toyota, 5 teams na lang ang maiiwan, no? So he tried really his best to keep the league afloat by going to Lucio Tan himself, Mr. Lucio Tan himself, and convince him to pick up the tab so that merong 6 na teams pa rin, no? But it seems that there were some groups then that stories reached me that it's either you choose Mon Fernandez or the whole team. So nagkataon naman na ako ang pinili ni Tommy Manotoc and build the team around me. That was all over the papers naman at the time, no? And in fact, that's when our friends from the press started calling me the franchise, no? Because Tommy Manotoc started that when he said we're going to build the franchise around Mon Fernandez, no? So pero at the end, towards the end, yung ibang mga teammates ko sa Toyota nag-join naman sa Beerhausen at the time, no? So everything that ends well.
Okay, except of course in Asani, iba yung pinuntahan nila, di ba? They went to Gilbis Gene, and then sa Great Taste naman si Arnie Tuwales and Chito Loizaga, and the Abbey King's contract was sold to Gold Eagle Beer, no? But the rest,
that's correct.
I think yung bulk nung Toyota team, no? Ando nakasama mo rin sa Beerhausen, no?
That's correct.
During the fold up, during
Beerhausen.
Right. During the disbandment, no, did you think playing without Jaworski and Arnaiz was the best thing that ever happened to your career as an individual?
Hindi naman, Ray, because if you really think about it, yung team namin sa Beerhausen, yung mga naging teammates ko doon sumama sa akin, most of them were sophomores or juniors or rookies, no? Mga baguhan, no?
Oh.
So I guess I really just have to develop my leadership qualities at the time to keep the team intact, no? To keep this team solid. That's what I mentioned earlier, no? Make everybody happy, support each other. So and maybe it was my chance to really show what I can do with a young team, no? To lead a young team, and we were very successful as far as I'm concerned. Even if we didn't win championship in '84, we reached the finals. We lost to Crispa. And we were in the semis all the time. So it was a very good year for everybody in the team.
And at the same time, I think statistical wise, parang that was your most productive season, 1984. Halos triple-double yata yung ginagawa mo nun, di ba?
Yeah, I missed by 1 point. The 10 assists, no, I had 9 point something assists per game. So yeah, I just felt that I had to do everything to help the team, no, bring the team to a successful run. No? So it was good time for me to be able to develop my other skills, all around skills. I was given the opportunity to do that, no? So I just grabbed it.
Okay. But when did that rivalry that has become personal started? Kailan nagsimula yan between you and Sonny?
I guess when we played against each other already because there was that issue nga of hindi kami nagkakasundo na towards the end. So it was developed more. The rivalry, the so-called rivalry, developed when we were playing against each other already. Especially when I was with Tanduay already and Ginebra. Pati yung productor rivals din, no? So,
right.
na-develop talaga.
Direct competitors, right?
Gin at Ram, no?
Okay.
So, the more na-develop yung rivalry doon.
Okay. And at the same time, no, can you consider that as probably one of the best things that happened to the PBA kasi wala na yung Crispa Toyota rival. At the same time, the participating teams were down to 6, di ba?
Definitely, it helped a lot as far as the marketing of the PBA. No, it was followed closely by the basketball fans. Yung Tanduay, Ginebra rivalry at the time that was developing, but yun hindi lang na-sustain ng Tanduay din nga because the owners decided to let go of the business towards the end of 1987. So, hindi tumagal masyado at ma-develop fully.
Okay. You won your second MVP award while playing for Beerhausen, no? But did it come as a surprise to you that you got traded the following season? And can you recall how did the falling out with the management start?
It was all political, more of political ray, you know. They felt that it was all rumors, so
right.
It's really hard to speculate on the reason. There were rumors, so Tommy Manotok decided to move me to Tanduay at the time.
Right.
And it just so happened also that one of the more senior executive of Tanduay, si Joe Ledesma, was with the team. He was a schoolmate of my older brother in the seminary in Leyte. He's from Leyte. He knew us very well. And they were the ones that also, and of course, Mr. Del Gallego, I forgot the first name of, I can remember the name of Mr. Del Gallego. They were all from Leyte. So when they sensed that relationships were not well already in our team in Manila Beer and Beerhausen, they pursued me. So which was what happened also with San Miguel, no? The second trade.
Right. Okay. Right. Playing for your new team, were you motivated to win a championship in the post-Toyota era? Kasi this is the first championship you won, and you won it with Tanduay during the post-Toyota era.
Well, definitely. As yun na rin ang primary goal naman talaga ng bawat player, na you can help bring a team to the championships. That's why we all play for, no? To reach that goal. That's the goal to reach talaga when you're playing in a league to win the championship. No? So tamang-tama din naman yung pagpasok ko sa Tanduay, meron ng kompleto na rin ng materyales. I just have to blend. I just have to blend myself with them. Mas malaki yung adjustment na ginawa ko kaysa ginawa ng team para sa akin. No? Dahil isa lang akong pumasok. Unlike kung bago lahat ang members ng team na pagsasamahin mo, matagal-tagal magbe-blend yan. So, I was lucky na yung mga nilapitan kong teams, in place na yung mga materials, yung position ko na lang siguro ang kulang sa kanila at the time. So, nag-fit in naman lahat, no? So,
yeah, immediately nga, dalawa kagad yung championship niya na panalunan with Tanduay, no? And in the midst of the championship run, you had your first final showdown with Jaworski's team, Ginebra, no? During the 1986 All-Filipino. At that time, mainit na mainit yung rivalry ng dalawa, no? But how determined were you to beat him in the finals?
Of course, just like, excuse me, just like any other team, yun talaga ang pinaka-main goal mo naman, no? So, if you can win it by all means, do it, no? So that's what we did, and we were lucky that we pulled that one out, no? But because I was playing very injured at the time,
right.
No?
Right.
I had a muscle tear on a Thursday, and our first series was on the Sunday already, no? So I was hobbling and puffing during the championship series. So it's a good thing. The biggest ano doon ang nakatulong talaga, if I remember correctly, si JB Yangbo.
Right.
No? He
rose. He was the most outstanding performer during that series, right?
The series. He rose to the occasion talaga. Of course, nandun yung iba, sila Freddy Ubaldi, sila Padin Israel, Willie Hiralao, and several others. The guys from Tanduay were already there.
Okay. Ayun nga, no? Na-mention mo nga yung mga guys niya, GB Yango, Freddy Ubaldi, Willie Hiralao, Padin Israel, even Eli Capacio who was playing.
Eli Capacio was there, yeah. Abid Gutierrez. Yeah.
O, di ba? Yung mga yan. And then, when Pure Foods acquired the franchise of Tanduay, kasama yung mga yan, no?
That's correct.
Kasama mo sila, no? Did you have a hand? Kasi ikaw yung ginawang playing coach, di ba? May hand ka ba na para mapasama sila sa Pure Foods, itong mga players na ito, when they acquired Tanduay?
Yeah, I built the team, the Pure Foods team when we came in, no? Si Rene Buhain, the owner, the president, he was the president and chairman of Pure Foods, I think, at the time. Yeah, he insisted that I play and coach at the same time, no? So we agreed to that, and we just added a few additions, no? Like sila Jerry Codinera, Jojo Lastimosa,
and later on, Alvin Patrimonio and Glenn Capacio, di ba?
Glenn Capacio. Alvin Patrimonio, I was already talking to him, convincing him to join us at the very start.
Okay.
But alam mo, ang bait ni Alvin talagang may loyalty sa team, no? So hindi niya maiwanan ang Swift at the time, and so I thought of a plan of that he can join us in the second conference, which was the All Filipino. That's why June, middle of the year na siya. Sabi ko, hatiin mo na lang yung first half of the year doon ka sa Swift, and second half, mag-join ka na sa amin, because we were telling him that the offer that we gave him really that time, hindi na mabibigay sa kanya yon. And it was a very hefty sum, so hindi naman sa yun lang din ang consideration niya. No, he can see now din naman na malakas talaga yung team, potential talaga yung team na magkaroon din ng sort of ano bang tawag na rin doon? ma, ma, maging force ka sa league for some time. Yeah, napakalakas talaga ng team yun, especially if he joined us, and he understood that. No? So, yeah.
Okay. Right. But how challenging was it for you to play the role as playing coach in the first conference of the tournament? This is something new for you, of course.
Well, yeah, mahirap. Although I was happy with the result, we came in runner-up kagad, no? But natalo kami ng San Miguel at the time. David Thirdkill did not really perform to my expectations, no? Compared to the way he performed
with Tanduay.
In Tanduay. He didn't perform as I expected him to. No? So bumaba yung performance niya compared sa Tanduay. No? It was one of the major naisahan ako ni Norman Black noon at the time. No?
Oo nga eh.
So, yeah. But basically, I was happy with it. Although, towards in the second conference, my responsibility as a coach and hoping to play at the highest level, medyo nag-suffer yung performance ko, no? Mahirap gawin, no? Especially in my case when I still had to play a good number of minutes every game, no? So mahirap. Sana kung papitik-pitik na lang ang pasok ko, ang paglaro ko, walang problema yun. But I had to be inside the game. At that time, I was practically averaging 30 minutes to close to 40 minutes a game, no? So it was pretty hard. So that's why I had to let go of the coaching job towards this first half or going to the second half of the All-Filipino Conference. So then just to get back my performance level.
Okay. Di ba dumating yung mga dumating yung mga batang players, Jolas, Jericho Diniera, then eventually Alvin, di ba? Then Glenn Capasio was also there, no? Were you surprised doon sa ganung kainit na pagtanggap sa inyo kagad ng mga tao? Kasi para kayong mga celebrities nung dumating doon, di ba? Yung na-shift kagad yung attention sa inyo nung ng mga fans eh. And totoo ba na each time na nagpa-practice kayo sa Ateneo Gym, puno yan madalas ng mga Koleana?
Hindi naman. Lahat naman ng teams may following talaga.
Right.
Wherever they practice, marami namang panonood. Yeah. Hindi mo naman maluloko ang Filipino race kung gaano kalakas ang team or not. They know their basketball. No? So they could really see the strength of the team from the very beginning. No? So it was not really people had wanted to support really the team because they know of the potential of the team. No, a lot of kung natuloy lang yung team na yon, we could have made some sort of a dynasty.
Right.
The time if we were able to keep the team for 6, 7, 8 years, no, together, we could have had a dynasty of sorts in the team also, no, considering.
Your foods, di ba?
Baka. We'll never know. We'll never know. But anyway, but that's how faith turns its pages, the book, no? So, ganun talaga. So, okay lang.
Okay.
And okay lang yung nangyari doon because I was able to complete my life cycle as a basketball player with regards to the teams that I played for, no? Because it was really San Miguel that got me from Cebu, no? They recruited me when I was in second year college to play for farm team already for San Miguel. And I was supposed to play for the NCAA at the time. Ning Ramos was, if you remember, Coach Ning, the late Ning, Coach Ning was the coach of the San Sebastian Stags and San Miguel Beer. No? So I was supposed to take my residency on my third year college in San Sebastian, which I did. But again, nangyari, nagtayo ng team ang Toyota no end of 72, no? Towards December of 72. So hindi na natuloy yun. So, but at least I was with San Miguel. I played for San Miguel Braves pa at the time in the 1973 National Seniors Open. So, nag-champion kami noon. And as I said, coming back was a complete turnaround, complete circle,
Right.
joining back the San Miguel team.
Okay. A few episodes ago, no, dito sa podcast namin, no, we had Bernie Pabiosa as our guest, no, and he revealed to us, no, na policy raw sa Pure Foods dati. Yung first 5, kailangan may approval ni Mr. Rene Buhain, then the president, no? Madalas daw, pinabago ni Mr. Buhain yung first 5 ni Baby Dalupan. Isa ba sa dahilan niya, kaya bumitaw ka sa as playing coach? Dahil nakikialam si Mr. Buhain?
I'm not really surprised with Bernie. Mabuti lang sinabi ni Bernie yan because that's practically what I experienced, no?
Okay.
When we were playing before, bigla na lang may magsasubstitution. Yan pala, may binigay na daw si Buhain from the sideline, may listahan din, o palitan mo si ganito. That's basically the cause of our,
disagreements
disagreements with Rene Buhain at the time. That was happening. That was happening from the time we started until the time I left the team, no? So, mabuti na lang, sinabi ni Bernard.
Okay. All right. Of course, old-time basketball fans would remember what happened to you, no? During the final series against Añejo, when Mr. Buhain reportedly ordered to bench you during Game 2 and the rest of the series, no? But can you tell us how this thing started? How did Mr. Buhain approach you about this matter?
It started right from the very beginning of our negotiations when he practically forced me to be the playing coach, Ray. No,
okay.
It was. I remember vividly. It was a Friday afternoon when we had a meeting. He also used to live also in Ayala, Alabang at the time, and I was just several blocks away from his house. We were neighbors at the time, and doon kami nagmeeting sa bahay niya for the team Friday afternoon. So ganito, everything, contracts and everything, the players. And I told him, okay, Mr. Buhain, gusto kong kunin na assistant coach si Eli Capasio. We were teammates. Diba? We were teammates sa Tanduay. So gusto kong kunin na one of my assistant coaches is Eli Capasio, is my assistant coach. So I gave him Eli Capasio's number. I said, pwede ba kayo na ni Eli mag-negotiate, mag-usap? Because I was leaving for Baguio early Saturday morning and coming back Sunday evening. I said, kayo na mag-usap so that by Monday morning, he planned a press conference Monday morning sa Pure Foods office sa Tigas, no? At the time, the first. So, yun. I left him. So, comes Monday morning, I picked up Eli Capasio sa bahay niya. And we went to the Pure Foods office for the press conference. So what happened during the press conference? He introduced right in the very beginning, he introduced Chris Kalilan as the assistant coach without telling me. No? Yun ang mabigat doon, without telling me, without consulting me. Wala namang problema sa akin yun. We'll have 2 or 3 assistant coach. But without telling me, so doon pa lang, yun na, umpisahan ko, ano ba itong napasukan ko? But like a good soldier, you do your thing, no? So we won the very first we were runner-up in the very first conference. No? But yun ang problema eh. Every game, pag natalo kayo, aabutin kaming 2 lang sa dugout ng 1 oras. Lilecturean niya ako about the game. Dapat ganito. Every time, I was telling him, look, Mr. Buhain, don't grade me on a per game basis. You wait for every conference or after a year. That's when you review everything. How did I do? Pero laging ganun yun. Like every game. So just like what Bernie said, nakikialam sa sino ipasok. So that's why it all started with that. Yung pakikialam niya to run a team, no? And my one of a very close friend of mine at that time, napagsabihan kasi siya eh. Rene, pabayaan mo na dyan si Mon. Trabaho niya yan. Hindi mo trabaho yan. Anong alam mo sa basketball? So that was towards the end na of our class. So that was his way of getting back at me, actually, really. No? Binabastos na niya ako masyado eh. Like I was the playing coach of the team, and every time I would order tickets for the games, especially for the championship games or semifinals, meron kaming complimentary, but still we would order for our friends, for our close friends and partners, no? So napapansin ko lagi niyang binibigay na ticket sa akin doon sa taas na sa upper box. No? Sabi ko, matindi din tong mamang to. But hindi ko pinapansin yan. So he was really just waiting for the time kasi una kaming nag-qualify for the championships eh. Tinalo kagad namin yung kalaban namin sa semifinals. And ang Hinebra and I don't know kung sino yung kalaban nila. San Miguel. Umabot yata sila ng 5 games pa yun or 7 games. Basta mahigit 1 linggo kaming walang competition, for practice lang. So on the very first game ng kalaban namin sila Coach Sani noon, natalo kami and it was a close game and we were a bit sloppy and tight. The first game, tagal namin din nakalaro. So natalo kami. So yun na. So, nakita na yun, ito na pagkakataon niya. Talagang, he sacrificed the championship for the team, no? Kaya I can remember, galit na galit sila, mga players noon, sila Alvin noon. But of course, wala silang magawa. It was bad blood from the very beginning, actually.
Ang mabigat kasi.
And I was happy. It was short-lived. Hindi umabot. Ilang buwan lang.
Yun nga eh. Pero Papa mo, ang mabigat kasi doon, there were suspicions made by Mr. Buhain in your game and it wasn't proven and that caused another potential championship for Pure Foods, no? But those allegations had definitely hurt your image, no? Did you, dahil nasaktan yung image mo rin, di ba? Did you somehow seek legal assistance?
Yeah, I filed a case against him at the time. I filed a case against him, but when the case was going on, here comes Mr. Ibaceta, si Nono Ibaceta again from San Miguel. He was the one running the basketball program. Calls me up and, Mon, huwag ka nang maingay. Mahimik ka lang. lipat ka na dito sa amin. So,
Okay.
same thing with what happened sa Tanduay, no?
Uh-huh.
So, tumahimik lang ako. Inayos na lang namin yung case, no?
Ano mo, ayoko na lang but is it true that some of your teammates from Tanduay told you that all management of your food headed by Mr. Buhain wanted them to testify against you to prove such yung allegations, no? And because by the end of the season, nawala na rin sila eh.
I wouldn't be surprised because in the 1989 MVP race, actually kami ni Alvin ang naglalaban doon eh.
Okay.
I think I had the most number of statistical points. Number 2 si Alvin. Very close sila ni Benji Paras.
Oo.
No? So pagdating ng votation of players, ang mga players boboto eh.
Oo.
Ang ginawa ni Buhain, yung mga Pure Foods players, pinaboto nila kay Benji Paras. Para
ni Alvin.
Para lang masigurado na hindi talaga. So I wouldn't be surprised. He was that kind of a person. No?
Okay. Ganun pala, no? But again, similar pattern happened to you when you moved to San Miguel. You got traded to San Miguel and won an MVP award, no? The following season...
Thanks to Rene Buhain.
Okay. And then the following season...
Yeah, because that time, Abet was already about to win
the MVP, right?
Another MVP that year. So, kaya lalong ang galit niya ni Abet noon sa akin eh.
But how was your relationship since then? Okay naman kay ni Abet? Okay naman.
Oh yeah. In fact, we saw each other's estates way back 2008 when we did a charity game for him to help him out in his physical problems. He's okay. Ano lang naman yun, part of the game lang yun na nagsisikuhan kayo every nagkakansawan. But nothing naman talaga personal or, deeply seated,
Okay. And eventually, the following season, you just won not just a championship, but a Grand Slam for San Miguel Beer, no? So, did you feel vindicated?
Oh, well, yeah, in a way, but that was not the more important thing. For me, it was important. We won San Miguel. San Miguel won their first All-Filipino championships when I got to play with them and a Grand Slam at that, no?
And against Pure Foods.
Was it against Pure Foods? I don't even remember.
Yes, that was against Pure Foods in '89.
Okay. Yeah, because mga kwentong kotsero na lang ito, ano.
Okay.
Because I somewhat made a comment to some common friends that we had, Kibuhain at me, mga common friends namin. Sabi ko, for as long as I am playing, hindi pipilitin ko, sisikapan ko na hindi talagang mananalo yung Pure Foods ng championship.
Okay.
It went all the way to 1992 yata.
Yeah, suki nyo nga sila eh. Suki, no? Tinalo nyo sila several times sa finals, 89 All-Filipino, 92 All-Filipino, 94 All-Filipino. But at the latter stretch of your career, did you feel that playing for SFB came at a perfect time?
So yun na nga, mukhang nabalitaan niya yon. So he felt it was a curse na ginawa ko, ano. And nung finally may yung same friends nagsabi sa akin, nagpunta daw si Rene Buhain sa libing ng nanay niya at nagpapatulong daw na tanggalin yung curse na binigay ko. I mean, these are stories. I don't know if they're true or not. No.
Okay.
So, yun.
Okay, pero kami no, Papa mo, meron kami segment dito, no, tinatawag. Yung tawag namin dito, the list, no. It's a short list of a little bit
The list.
of everything. Oh, list. Ano lang. Okay. Ito lang first question. Was Philip Cesar the toughest matchup for you ever? And why did you think Philip had success against you either during the one-on-one competitions or playing with his team?
Oh, well, I would say si Abet Gidabin pa rin talaga ang
Si Abet
number
pa rin.
one.
Okay.
Because we have the same height. Although Philip, a very good defender also, and several with other guys like Villamin, Chito Luisaga, other guys, no? But I would still say it was really Abit that was. We were more or less. We know each other's game better than the others, no? Because of the long period of time that we played against each other, no? We know more or less our tricks here and there, no? So, but all of them, because I always consider people guarding me to be the best guards whenever I play them. So that's why I really hindi ka pwede magkumpiyansa ba. You have to give them respect also. So yeah.
Okay. Isa ba sa pinanghihinayangan mo was yung hindi mo naging teammate si Alvin ng matagal now, just like you won 4 MVPs. Kung hindi nagkaroon ng Pure Foods before, did you see a potential dynasty right away for the squad na magkasama kayong dalawa?
That's precisely why I moved heaven and earth na makuha ko talaga sa Ray sa Pure Foods team, no? Because I built the team from the very beginning, no? I wanted to make sure na Pure Foods kami makakakuha kay Alvin because he was the hottest amateur coming out of the amateur league at the time. So yeah, as I said earlier, that could have we could have started a dynasty, the team that ginawa namin noong 1988. No?
Okay, all right. What were your favorite Robert Jaworski moments? Matagal rin kayong hindi nakikibuan, no? Right after the falling out and officially, kailan talaga kayo nagkaayos ulit and who initiated it?
Well, ano lang yun, if you can call it, parang ano lang yun, parang lover's quarrel lang yun.
Tampuhan.
Tampuhan lang yun, Ray, no? And as I said, fueled by the press and the basketball public in general, no? But yeah, you're going back to your question.
Yung kailan officially nagkaayos talaga.
Several times we had so much. We had well, yung during the All-Star game of 1989. Yung after I made that shot from his pass, I made an undergoal shot, and we won the veterans versus rookies and sophomores. And that's when Baby Dalupan came over and pulled me and brought me to Sunny, and we shook our hands. So yeah.
Nag-start ka pa doon o hindi pa officially? Hindi pa officially doon nag-start?
Yung relationship namin?
Yun yung pagbati niyo ulit. Doon ba nag-start o hindi?
Yeah, that parang the thawing of the ice at what mountains are those? Yeah, it was napabilis yung, you know.
Kasi of course, it wouldn't take long kasi nagkasama kayo ulit sa Philippine team, di ba? The 1990, di ba? Yun nga.
Yeah.
Yun, by that time, okay na kayo dahil ginawa ka pang team captain eh.
Ito yung pagka kami naman mga players, Ray, kalaban or kakampi, maski hindi kami nagkakausap-usap, there is already that relationship, built-in relationship, no? Especially with Jaworski, Sunny, that teammates din naman kami for 10 years in the beginning of our PBA career. So we know more or less each other's ugali, and so it wasn't hard to really to play with each other or to work together in a team. So it wasn't really hard to do, especially for a cause like playing for the national team.
All right. Papa Mon, baka meron kang mga gustong pasalamatan na probably from Philippine Sports Commission or whatever involvement you have right now. This is your chance.
Well, of course, to all the basketball fans, this is another opportunity for me really to really thank you. Alam mo, Ray, malaking kaya hindi ko ma-imagine, Ray, yung ginagawa ng NBA na playing in a venue na walang spectators. No? It's really the spectators, the fans that really push us to our limits, motivate us, inspire us to play at our very best. Talaga, no? So, salamat. You really inspired me a lot. And even my hecklers. Because to shut up your hecklers is you just have to show them what you've got, not to play your best. No? That's the best way. That's the best way to get back at your hecklers, at your critics, no? Is to play your best. No? Even that. So it's really the following, the support of the basketball fans that that inspires all players for that matter. So, of course, lalo na ngayon doon sa mga, it's a big, great opportunity also for me to work with specific sports stakeholders, no? With my job now at the Philippine Sports Commission. For your information, I'm the oversight commissioner for the Visayas. No? I take care of the Visayas program. I try to create some programs in the Visayas area. So I got to meet almost all the mayors already there. And we have coordinators all over Visayas. And even also in Mindanao, no? But more or less, I move around that area. So I'd like to thank them for their support now with what the PSC is doing with regards to the grassroots programs that we want to put in place. We have put in place and is trying to continue with it. Problema lang, pinasukan tayo nitong lintik na COVID. No? But we will be back. We will be back. In fact, even now, we're doing a coaching certification program sa Visayas, and Luzon is also starting already, and Mindanao will follow soon. No? So all over the country, we will have Philippine Sports Commission level 1 certified coaches sa level 1. No? Hopefully by sometime middle of next year, we would have graduated more than 1,000 level 1 coaches. No? We want to standardize the certification process of coaches, because sa ngayon kasi may mga NSAs, meron din silang sariling certification programs, judo, whatever, no? So mas mabuti na yung PSC ang mangunguna talaga, dahil yun naman ang mandate ng PSC, no? To come up with a program for amateur sports, no? And grassroots. So mabuti na yung isahin natin yung standards ng certification kaysa iba-iba, no? So that's what we are busy right now, kasi we can do that virtual now. They do it in Zoom. In fact, the first batch of the Luzon certification program is ongoing. It was the first day today. And hopefully Mindanao will follow also. It will follow also. So, thank you to all those people. We have to keep our sports program alive. We're pushing so many programs. We are into our last 2 years. So hopefully we will be able to continue that with the next administration and the Philippine Sports Commission. So all they really have to do is continue with this program. So I hope they don't change it anymore, because these are all science-based programs, Ray. No? Ito lang coaching certification natin. We started first with lectures on sports sciences, psychology, sports nutrition, sports physiology, strength and conditioning, and the other sciences involved kailangan para sa paggaling ng isang atleta. No? You don't win anymore through luck, but all this have to be in place, nutrition and all that. No? So I hope a lot more coaches will be joining. In fact, punong-puno na nga, dami pang. But that will continue, no? Because even from level 1, we can move on to level 2, then level 3. Basically, level 3, kung level 3 certified ka na, pwede ka na sa national team level. Yung level 1 would be for mga barangay, town, and provincial leagues. No?
Right.
The second would be UAAP na school leagues na high school. And the third level would be the national level already. And even international for the matter.
Okay.
So we're hoping we will be able to, in spite of the lockdowns, we will be able to encourage our kids and the parents, most especially, to allow their kids to pick up a sport or two, especially now during the lockdowns and the pandemics. You can do at home. There are a lot of programs available in YouTube. No? We're working very closely also with Milo. They have a program now, home court ang tawag nila, to continue the champions path.
So this are focused on home workouts, di ba? Yung mga ganyan.
That's correct. That's correct. We were already, planning to bring in the Olympic qualifiers na sana, but na MSCQ naman tayo. So status quo move back a little bit, no? But that's our next move. While there's no vaccine available yet, so we'll bring into Philsports Arena. We've identified several facilities that can be used as their training venues. Dormitories, there's wala namang problema dahil this is where the athletes really live, the national athletes live. No? But we're bringing in first the qualifiers and those that are still going to qualify. You know, there are still several sports na marami pa tayong atleta na will have to go through the qualifying tournaments to qualify for the Tokyo Olympics.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you. And come hell or high water, we're here ready to deliver the clutch points here at the link. This is your moderator, Ray Hoble, signing off for now. But we'll be back for our next episodes of the hottest hoop talks our fans love to learn and discuss. On behalf of our director, Aldin Alejo, and our sponsors, Smart, Rain or Shine, and LGR, thank you and see you in our next episode. Bye, Papa Mon. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye, Ray. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ingat ka.
Stay safe, everyone.
Bye-bye.